you a Star Wars fan? Because you'll be amazed at number one, that a lot of women might be into the shit that you're into, but you're so worried about her judging you that you don't give it half a chance. But also some of the things that you're not into, you'll be amazed at how women would want to get into it because they want to get closer to you.
A lot of times they say shit like, "Oh, I'm free on weekends," or I'm usually free on Thursdays," or whatever the hell. So if it makes sense, then I schedule a date.
If she really liked you from the get-go, there would be no reward system you would have to look for to do anything for, right? Because it would automatically be there, And I like to do this in conversation sometimes. When you're speaking with somebody and you'll hear a girl say something like, "I'll never do this," or "I don't like this," or "I don't like that." And then you'll notice, you'll say, "Nah, I kind of like it. I like it when blah, blah, blah." And she's like, well, yeah, when you say it like that, I like it, and it's just kind of like, yeah, you switched up awfully fast for somebody that just really said they don't like something. And so, there's always been clues out there for fellas to understand, like, yo, if they really like you, they will change their whole political party.
They're not giving her real instruction. They're not letting her know what it really is. And most dudes don't do it. Most dudes don't say what it is because they're afraid to hear no, or they're afraid to bring up sex too early and all of this and all of that. But the bottom line is this. Either, again, and somebody said it, either she's feeling you or she's not. You understand? Either she's feeling you or she's not. We got to stop all this nonsense, man. Guys are too afraid to hear no, and it's like I'd rather hear no than to waste 2, 3, 4 dates and time spent, money spent, and all this other shit just to find out that you wasn't feeling me any damn way. You see what I'm saying? But so with me, first date is cool. If you don't want to do it on the first date, no problem. You could be on your period or whatever it is. There's a lot of things that could be off on the first date, right? It doesn't matter. But second date, you gotta know what it is.
For me, I like exclusive vagina to me. And that's because I don't want to catch nothing to have my later years messed up. And I like to stroke without no condom on. It feels great.
No.
So I like this.
So you like to be hugged by the sugar walls? You like to be hugged?
Yeah. I like that velvet, plush velvet. The smoothness. So,
but even then, J. Roman, I hear you.
He don't get up for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So, and the reason is because he has to conserve his energy to do 3 full workouts a day up until his competition date. You understand? So when he's in season, he literally just works out as hard as he can. Then he sits on the couch and his wife brings him everything. The only thing she don't do is fucking piss for him, right? So what I'm saying is, it's one thing to have a wife that does it, because you said earlier, these were the words you used. You said a woman who says, "Oh, I rock with this dude, so I don't mind doing this." But see, it's a difference between a woman who doesn't mind and a woman who cheerfully wants to do it. Understand the position of a simp. Make sure you understand the position of a friend zone nigga. Make sure you understand that a man doesn't do anything for nothing. You understand? So run the game, be careful, and do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm. And that's the right there, J. Roman. And that's the problem. Your main chick should always be prioritized over all the new chicks. Right? The new chicks should not get preferential treatment. Right? So what would make it difficult for a lot of women is if you're giving girlfriend treatment to the new chick. Right? So this is why when you very first meet women, you have to establish boundaries and parameters where they got to earn everything. So that way, when the main chick is with you and she knows you're dealing with new women, she knows they have to go through the gauntlet too. They just don't get shit quicker. Like
labyrinth, streets be the maze. Hosts on the mic, carry case set in the blaze. Sagging, Miles Cunham with the game so tight. J. Roman lit the torch, keeping it right. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat, pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law. Harry K drops jewels, the crowd enthralled. Words cut deep, no need for brawls. Miles Cunningham, tactics sharp like a dagger. Navigates the game, makes the haters stagger. Journey to manhood, no easy feat. Lessons from the masters, words concrete. J. Roman with the keys, opens the door. Manhood's the path, gotta crave for more. Manhood's the challenge, skill set to master. In a world moving fast, gotta move faster. Trap beat, pounding 808, shake the floor. Guided by the host, wisdom like law.
Yes, yes. What's up?
What up?
What's going on?
Ow. What's going on, man? What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
What's going on? What's going on?
Happy-
How was you guys' fourth?
Dope, man. My shit was dope. I'm out here in Jamaica, man. I had what's the name?
What's up?
Fireworks and stuff last
Yeah.
night. It was
Damn,
dope.
Jay Roman, damn, bro, you all right? Nigga, you auto rejecting yourself, bro? You know what I'm saying? I guess this
Skill
game was
set
too much for him to
master.
bear, bro. He couldn't hang, bro. He had to go.
J. Roman with the keys. Skill set to master.
Look, yeah. Gentlemen and ladies, because I already seen the ladies in the chat. We do appreciate all that estrogen. We needs that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We needs that. Inconsistency kills attraction with women. But here's the thing, though. It's not even just about women. Inconsistency can fuck up a lot of things in business relationships, other endeavors, even friendships, family members. If they're inconsistent, that can have an impact on your desire to want to be around them and shit. And the homie is back. What's up? You good? Everything
what's
good?
up? I guess they had an update, and I just got a message that the engineers are working hard, but it's been inconsistent streaming. So I don't know what happened that caused me to drop out, but let's hope it don't happen again.
Yeah.
Hey, we all have been through it, bro. Some more than others. I'm not naming any names or anything. I'm just, just pointing out the obvious. But let's get it though. Now, before we get into this, and I really, really want to talk about it, the call-in number 18. It is working today, right? We got it open.
Oh yeah, calling lines are open, man. So yeah, whenever you're ready.
1-844-672-7300. Miles just told you the homie is on vacation. He ain't playing with y'all today.
No, we not.
Not at all. Playing. So call the fuck in, right? Let me let me shout out some people real quick.
I'm ready to go on the pool.
I feel you. Real quick, and we don't have a video today, but I do have 5 points that I want to get to, and I definitely want you gentlemen's perspective on that. But I just want to shout out some people real quick. Wicked Scorpion, appreciate you, fam. Danny P. If I miss somebody, man, don't get upset. I'm trying to hurry up and go through this shit so we can get to this game. Danny P, what's up? Jillian, what's up? Mark Tavius, what's up? B. Will, His Holiness, Duca Lux, Facelli. Who else we got up in here? Unique 79, June Sports. Who else we got up in this piece? Rob Marine, Jazzy Jazz, what's up, girl? Storm. Who else we got? Phoenix Miles, what's good, bro? Who else we got? Frankie Shy. Let me see. I think I got everybody. Phoenix Miles, Bruce the Second. Blast Omatic, what's good? What's good? What's good? Joe Blast. I think I got everybody. If I miss you, man, don't get upset. It's none personal. Swag I am. Oak Town's finest. What's good, Mr. Go Blue? So the reason why this is important, what's up, King Ken? The reason why this is important is I promise you, if guys really took a look at all the inconsistencies in their dating experiences and all the ups and downs in their various relationships, you will find that inconsistency is at the heart of that. You know what I'm saying? Now, there might be other issues and other things at play, but here's the thing about being consistent. Okay, and a lot of guys don't really understand the importance of this. And even some women, even though some women, no, most women, no, all women, let me not say all women, if you're inconsistent, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Although for them it's a problem, they can be inconsistent as hell themselves, right? And I said this about women. I love y'all, but sometimes the very things they ask for, they themselves lack, right?
Facts.
And this is where leadership comes in, and this is where you got to be consistent. Because when you talk about being inconsistent is always going to lead to misunderstandings, misinterpretations, miscommunications. It's going to lead to confusion. And in some cases, it's going to, especially for people who are overthinkers, as they like to call them, it's going to lead to people feeling some type of way, like, oh, he don't like me, or she don't like me, or they feel, or they fucking with somebody else. And none of that might be going on, but because of your inconsistencies, you're inviting all of this bullshit into your world. Y'all got it though.
Nah, facts, man. Look, and you know, like you said, K-Zaggin, the women they ask for, you know, what they lack. You understand? And that's why they ask for it. Then that's why they need us. And I honestly see, I'm again, I don't certain things in life, you know, we can't really fight against, right? We could, you know, there's gravity, there is certain rules with the way this thing is set up, right? Certain things we can't really change as human beings, but however, we can learn how to adapt to it, and you know, we can, based on our imagination, we can try to adjust the boundaries, but we can't totally get rid of the boundaries, right? So with that being said, it's like a lot of men out there, they go against the grain so much instead of learning how to creatively work with it. And so instead of realizing that women are built a certain way and they require certain things from us. And a lot of men, instead of understanding this and going and realizing it and you trying to use it to work to their advantage, they use it as a reason to resent women, or as a reason to have something negative to say about the whole situation. But that's not what it's about. It is about understanding it and then working with it, right? A woman is usually inconsistent for the same reason why she needs to get with a man that is consistent. You understand? Because that they tell us that opposites attract. And you see that with magnetism. So why would a woman who's already always consistent, why would she actually need a man? You get what I'm saying? No, she needs a man because the man should be consistent. So she needs him to help her with the consistency. And then we're able to learn from that, because her inconsistency reflects against us to remind us to continue to be consistent. You understand? And it's that consistency that allows things to work in relationships. And then from there, with relationships, then we can procreate, and then we can make this thing happen. You understand? This whole life thing. So I think it's important, and I think guys need to embrace it. You know, a lot of times we're like, oh, a lot of dudes is like, oh, how come women can be inconsistent? And if a woman lied, then why can't I lie? And if women flake on dates, then I should be able to flake on dates. And you know, anything that a woman does, I should be able to do. And it's like these dudes is running around with vagina envy, trying to justify bitch ass behavior, talking about, oh, well, if a woman could do it, I could do it. It's like, no, you have to be a certain way, and the woman has to be a certain way, and then that's how we fit. That's how the puzzle pieces fit together to make this whole thing work.
Real quick, welcome back, J. Roman, Mr. Justin. What's good? Welcome.
Man, we spoke too soon.
Yeah. Let me say this.
J. Roman is having tech difficulties, guys.
Yeah,
so
he been having zagitis, you know what I'm saying, the whole time and shit. He been
StreamYard's fucking up, man. Like my other camera doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. If you use
there was a warning that popped up.
Feature, yeah, the background feature. If you use the background feature or whatever, I think it says specifically if you're using particular features, then it's gonna act janky and shit.
Oh, it's gonna act.
So J. Roman, he normally uses background features, so that's what's happening with him.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna get your take on it. Let me just say this, Mr. Justin, because Miles, you said something that was so simple, but it was profound because it was true. You said vagina envy. See, there used to be a time, and there still is with feminism, there used to be a time when it was penis envy. You know,
I remember that.
The pantsuit wearing chicks. It used to be. Now, guys, even with the drizzle shit.
Yeah.
The choosing signal shit. The why don't women take the initiative? Guys really do have vagina envy.
Facts.
They want to be bad bitches. They want to be a bitch with a dick. They really do. Because I guess in their eyes, they're like, women got it so easy.
Wait, Zach,
I want it like that.
These days, they don't even want a dick anymore.
Yeah. They
Well,
don't need it. They cutting it off, throwing it away. Shout out to Dave Chappelle. Don't need it.
They taking the greatest gifts that God has ever created, and they just want to get rid of that shit.
Exactly. Facts. Now, the responsibility, the privilege of being a man is it's a different thing, and unless you understand it, and unless you understand how and why you should appreciate it, it goes to waste on a lot of different males. That's why you got to call them males. Like, you were just born male, but you're not actually a man. You don't really fit the description for the position. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. So, fellas, the call-in line is open. If you do have a question, by all means, please put a Q in the chat followed by your question. There is a question. Jay Roman, we're going to give it some time to cycle. I'm going to bring you in just a moment. Give me a second, brother. All right. If you're using the background, real quick before I bring you in, I know you can hear me. If you're using the background feature, it's going to keep acting up, but I'm bringing you in. Okay, I guess you stopped using that shit. All right, cool. So Trendy Now, he says, do you think there's any truth that it takes 21 days to make or break a habit? Not necessarily. It depends. It depends. Like, if you're an alcoholic or drug addict, a lot of that shit is physiological. For a lot of people, it's going to take way more than 21 days. So I think it would depend on your level of dependency when it comes to your mind and all that other shit. But y'all got it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Even if there's no chemical addiction, most habits have deep roots, and they're deep roots psychologically. And you might be able to stop a particular behavior or something like that, but that doesn't mean that you're not still connected to it psychologically. So you're still fighting within yourself that internal battle. But and on the outside, they'd be like, oh, he's not doing that thing anymore. But inside, that struggle is still happening. So
it's always
I think
a battle.
it takes a lot longer.
I agree. I think for some people, it's a lifelong battle. Like, even for some people who are alcoholics, they cannot go around alcohol. And like, literally, it's decades. And they got to do it for that because they have triggers. Like you said, it's deep rooted. But y'all got it.
Right. Bro, nice guy syndrome. It's like the same shit.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Like, on the surface, they might not be, floundering all over girls, sending them flowers and shit, but they still have that thing inside them because the roots are deep, goes all the way back to their childhood. So just not buying girls and not pedestalizing them for 21 days isn't going to make that shit go away.
Right.
Nope. It's still going to be in you. And the funny thing about it, the sexier the chick is or the badder she is, you're going to revert right back to your old shit, just like that.
Right.
Oh, right. Or if some kind of struggle happens. So this happens with one of my guys. Like, when things are going good in his marriage, everything is super smooth. He feels grounded. He can lead well. But the second she kind of like falls out of line and goes back to her habits of communication and so on, he switches back. And he starts putting his mind in her mind, trying to figure out what she's thinking, what she's doing, why she's doing it, getting all like emotional shit. And we've been it's been over a year now. He's been a client of mine. So he still has his moments where he flips back into these old habits.
Yeah.
And even within his relationship, I'm sure he's having ups and downs with attraction. Because even within a relationship, a woman can lose attraction, gain it back, lose it, gain it back, want to fuck you, not want to fuck you. And that inconsistency, that fucks with the intimacy. Okay? And in a major way, right? So when we talk about inconsistency kills attraction with women, it's not just new women. It's like what Mr. Justin is saying, he has a client who's married. So I assure you, those inconsistencies when he's flip-flopping, and see, you can't do that with women. You can't. Because you become very unpredictable unreliable, and it fucks with the security of the relationship, and it fucks with the trust of the relationship. It fucks, and it also hinders the growth of the relationship when you're inconsistent. Y'all got it, man. We got questions all over the place now, but y'all got it.
That's good. Well, the thing is about a consistency and inconsistency is that one of them is reactionary and one of them is not. So you can't be non-reactionary and be inconsistent, right? They like being reactionary is very inconsistent because the stimuli isn't in a pattern, right? Stimuli just kind of happens. It comes in at random points. And if you react to these things, that makes you inconsistent. Right? Consistency has like the same fucking thing no matter what the stimuli is, no matter what's happening. Good day, he's the same. Bad day, he's the same. Neutral day, he's the same. It's like sunny day, rainy day, fucking tornado. It doesn't matter. She's like, all right, I'm the same dude, grounded, sitting on my square, doing what I need to do.
Right. Nah, yeah.
Yep. We got a couple questions, and that shit right there. That because when we talk about, matter of fact, hold on real quick, and then I'll throw it to J. Roman and Miles and shit. I just want to bring this up. Not staying the same throughout, acting at variance with one's own principles of former conduct. So as a man, how can you ever develop standards by which you adhere to if you're inconsistent? So if you're bringing a woman into your world, she's an inconsistent creature. You're an inconsistent creature. Both of y'all are there's chaos all through your fucking relationship. And you know where it starts? How you first meet women. So for all you guys that switch up, oh man, you know what? She's acting this way. Let me chill and let me not say what I really want to say because of her, because of what she said. So you're switching up for the woman. So the whole it began with you switching up. It began with you being inconsistent. So it was built on shaky ground. The whole relationship is built on wobbled ground. What y'all got?
Right. Yeah, you got it, J. Roman.
Everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we got you.
All right. There was a question that was posted by a Marro, Marro, if I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he asked a good question when you guys were talking about, especially when Justin was talking about inconsistencies and being consistent even in a relationship. And when a woman submits to you and you have an instance of inconsistency in your leadership, how does apologizing and taking accountability for it impact the attraction and desire she once had?
All right, I'll jump on it first. So right. Pause, big pause. So anyway, when a woman, first of all, it's very unlikely that a woman would even submit to you to begin with if you're inconsistent.
Right.
It's very, very unlikely. Very, very, very unlikely that a woman would submit to you if you're inconsistent. But also, it's very unlikely that a woman will submit to you if you've already submitted to her. See, a lot of you guys, your actions or lack thereof, you're already, anytime you wait on a woman or anytime you're flexible and you kind of let the woman set the tone for how your interaction is going to be, you've already submitted. So she really can't submit to you. But what happens though, Mauro, is eventually as a relationship progresses, you try to establish boundaries. But you already gave the chick too much, too soon. So there's no respect for those boundaries. There's inconsistencies where sometimes she listens and sometimes she don't. But y'all got it.
Well, the one thing I don't like about the question is that it's like he's already assuming that at some point he will be inconsistent. And so it's like he's already giving himself some type of out or excuse to falter in his masculine identity, right? And I understand that, right? Because we're not, none of us are perfect. But at the same time, it's like if you sometimes it's like you can't predict the weather, but if you keep telling yourself it's going to rain, chances are it's going to rain. You get what I'm saying? Like certain things, right? And so the thing is this: if you have that type of mentality, then just make sure you bring your umbrella. You understand? And you know, when it comes to apologizing or taking accountability, it still had your consistency and character has to hold true, right? Everything still has to stay consistent as far as your character, because things are going to happen and you're going to have to maintain your character. You're going to have to maintain your manner. You're going to have to maintain your poise and be accountable, and don't be, in my opinion, I think it's taking accountability doesn't mean that you lose value. You understand? A lot of people think that when you make a mistake, it takes value away from you. And I try to remind my guys that, in life you can only control yourself and how you respond to things that happen in life, right? So you maintain your consistency of character even during the apology, even during your ability to take accountability and to let your woman know, hey, I messed up, or this is what it is. But it's when you start to think of yourself as less than, or when you start to lose the overall confidence because you made a mistake. You understand? And so it's like, in my opinion, have the confidence to trust in your ability to stay consistent instead of worrying about what will happen if you're inconsistent, right? Because doing that, to me, is like the first step to diminishing your own confidence. You understand? So my thing is how the question is worded, and then in that respect, still have confidence even when you take accountability, even when you apologize.
There you go.
I might have gave this person a little too much clout after listening to y'all with this. I thought it was an excellent question because as human beings, we're not perfect.
Of course.
We're all fallible.
Well, for him,
and
it's
so,
definitely a
and
question
so,
for him.
Yeah, and so, if you are inconsistent, now inconsistent to me means a period of time and not just incident. So
Thank you for saying that. Because yes, that's a very good point. Being inconsistent is one thing, but actually just making a mistake in one instance is a whole other thing. But yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there's been
forgetting something that, come on now, like but my bad, J. Rum. I just want to say, forgetting something is one thing, but pretending like this is what you do, then you fall off because it ain't what you do is another.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So if you were inconsistent for a period of time, apologizing and taking accountability for it is a good thing. Mm-hmm. However, it doesn't stop there. Mm-hmm. You have to actively get back on it. And so that apology is they're going to do two things, because it doesn't do anything in the moment. Mm. It only holds up if the consistency continues to be there throughout. So you could say, hey, you know what? I know for the last 6 months, I haven't really been doing what I'm supposed to be doing and everything like that. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm going to do better. Well, that doesn't mean anything. It just sings, like, oh, okay, we both know what you've been thinking and what she's been thinking. Yep. Now it's the action that means the most. Mm. And I think you can't have too many inconsistencies in periods of time. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing about it is
especially the same type of inconsistencies.
Yeah. Just you can't have a multiple periods of inconsistency. Yeah. Because then that just proves you're an inconsistent person.
Yeah. I mean, either way around, same type or different. Yeah.
So but the thing is, you're a leader, so you could take this moment, and it's very impactful if you show her how to take accountability and then turn that accountability into actions so it doesn't happen again. Mm. And I think that you still can lead in this situation. The only thing you can't do is worry about her attraction and desire. You're more worried about your attraction and your desire to yourself. Because I tell you right now, if I'm inconsistent in anything, I'm in my head and disappointed in myself more than she could ever be disappointed in me. Mm. That doesn't even matter. Because my whole battle is me versus me trying to be the man that I want to be and being consistent with that person.
Yep. Real talk. Nice. Great point.
Yeah. I'm glad you said that bit there at the end, Jay, because the attraction thing should be the least important thing on your mind. Like the fact that he's looking at it from how will this affect her attraction to me means that he has a faulty position to begin with.
Exactly. Yep.
So he's like, this, how will it affect her attraction to me?
Mm-hmm.
And when making that the crux of his angle, and that really shows that he's not it. You're like, dude, you got work
everything
to do.
is for the woman. Everything is with the woman in mind.
You've got work to do. Now, as far as like inconsistency goes, what I have to say is depends on your scope. So if you zoom in and at the specific actions, you might see inconsistencies. But if you zoom out and you look at the overall view of the behaviors of your identity, owning your shit is part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So whether you're interacting with somebody else or you're just dealing with yourself or whatever, owning your shit is a massive part of being on the path of man. You can't sweep things under the rug and pretend that you committed to this thing or that you wanted to do that or whatever, and pass it off like, oh yeah, I'm still on top of my shit. Like, you swept something under the rug, right? And so that's what I'm saying. So like owning your shit, that's like an overall thing. So in this instance, owning your shit is doing the right thing. Right? Who cares if it has an effect of our attraction? Okay. So just a quick story. Recently, one of my clients, he had this back and forth with his girl. They weren't fighting or anything like that, but he said something in a way that made her feel really isolated and rejected. And then she got down and he didn't know what to do with it. Okay. Because this is a lot of guys. They don't know how to handle a woman's emotions. So she got really depressed. And it was even more so because she just started her period. So all of her hormones were in the tanker. And so, and he's like, all right, well, I'll just give you some space for a couple of days and let you sort this out. And then when you're feeling better, you can come back, come back and talk to me. And I said, bro, that's the worst thing you can do. Basically, like, you said something that had her feel insulted. She took it even in a worse way because of her hormones. And then you just put her in a little rowboat and pushed her out into the middle of a lake by herself and said, figure it out. I only want to hang out with you when you're feeling cheery and happy. So what that did was it says, oh, he has no consistency. Like, he's not the same guy. It's like when he's faced with something that he can't handle, he's like, oh, I can't deal with this. And I push her away. I said, look, you have to own your shit. You have to own everything. So own what you said, own how you said it. Because what he said wasn't a problem, it was how he said it. And then I said, you need to bring her in and have her feel less isolated, because that's not going to bring you guys closer together by saying, oh, here, just go figure that shit out on your own. She's a woman. She can't. She needs your grounding. She needs your guidance. She needs your leadership. She needs your containment, because they're fucking crazy. They're flexible. They're mutable. There's a lot going on inside their heads. You know what I'm saying? They need your structure. And if you're like all flexible and shit, like, oh, I'm reacting to your stuff, I can't deal with it. Like, what's that say? It says, I can't trust you. I can't rely on you. You're not steady. You're not grounded.
Right.
And it hinders, and I keep telling, it hinders the progress of the relationship. And it also hinders the woman's desire to bring her all to the situation, because she can't trust you enough to bring her all. Because you got to understand, when a woman brings her all, that's when she's at her most vulnerable. Like, guys think just having casual sex with a woman is when she's at her most vulnerable. No. When she brings her all into the situation, when she's investing into the situation, and there's inconsistencies on your part. See, guys be talking about a roller coaster of emotion. No. See, the natural roller coaster is just the woman understanding there's boundaries and she's going to be told no. That's the natural roller coaster. But you guys take women on these roller coasters, and Mr. Justin said it, with the emotions. And here's the thing about emotions. And I've said this, when you're dealing with women, you have to understand how to manage and mitigate dealing with women's emotions. Manage and mitigate. And mitigate means make less severe. That's all that means. That means you have to understand the power of you. When you understand the power of you, you understand the power of your words when it's to a woman that cares about you. Right. Your words carry heavy weight when it's a woman who cares about you. And I'm guilty of saying shit because I wasn't using any tact, Mr. Jackson. I'm guilty, right? And I said some shit, but I knew it right away. Damn it. I shouldn't have said it like that. And right when I said it, boom, her reaction came like floodgates. It opened up.
So I knew I fucked up right when I fucked up, right? So, but that's where you got to go in there and you got to clarify your shit. You got to clean that shit the fuck up. That's the taking accountability, but you don't got to grovel to a bitch. I'm sorry. Don't cry. You ain't got to do all of that. You got, hey, look. Let me clarify that. It came out wrong, right? and I'm guilty of that because I really be having I don't give a fuck attitude, but it's to my detriment from time to time. But I got it.
Yeah, what he did is I guess I can get into details because I'm not mentioning names, but they were like hanging out and I guess like they were making it out, and he put his head next to her head, and she had one of those upper ear piercings, like about the cartilage, and he got close to it, and he was like, "Oh, what is that fucking smell?" Like it just had an awful putrid smell, and he's like, "How often do you clean this earring?" And she's like, "Oh, you just whenever I shower." But he's like, "So you don't specifically clean it, with purpose?" And she's like, "No." And he's like, "Yeah, it kind of smells bad."
Right.
And so she felt, all women, as we know, are insecure. So that hit her. Plus she was on her period. So her hormones are way down. So it was like a double whammy and punch in the gut. And she got kind of pulled back. Right. She felt rejected. She felt on the spot. She kind of didn't know what to do. And then she's like, "Actually, I'm going to go." And he's like, "All right." And he's like, "Let me know when you're feeling better. Contact me in a couple of days." I'm like, bro. I was like, in that instance, what you should have done was just do what needed to be done, which was, "Hey, do you clean this often?" No. Right then and there, just move, go get a Q-tip, go get some alcohol, clean the fucking thing.
That's where the leadership comes in.
And make no comment about how it makes you feel. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? You're noticing a small problem and you fix it.
Right.
That's it.
I got it. Real quick, my bad. I just want to tell a story before I forget it. My bad. J-Rom, I'm going to pass it right back to you. Years ago, I had this coworker. We was cool. We used to hang out from time to time. This chick came to his crib. Right, for the purpose of sex, they had talked about it. And when he, took the clothes off, she wasn't shaving. And he was like, instead of getting upset about it, he said, He said, "We ain't doing shit with all of that right there." He took her to the bathroom, gave her a clean razor, and said, let's get this shit off. Right then and there. You know what I'm saying? That's what leaders do. Something wasn't to his liking, so instead of just berating a woman and saying shit, he said, "Let's fix this shit." But he did it in a way where she still maintained her level of attraction and her, "Okay, I'm going to follow you. Do what you want to do. Go ahead. Let's save this shit. Whatever you want to do."
Right.
But y'all got it.
Yeah.
So I just think there's different levels, right? We all know there's different levels, and you learn and you become better. You grow and become better. And so I know a lot of guys will think leadership is, because we tell them too, and it is one of the aspects of being direct, right? You can't and hum and you got to say what it is and be real about it and understand what you're saying.
Say it from your chest.
Yeah. If you ever got into like a management position and things like that, a lot of times they take you through this class, right? And basically, in the class you learn how to say stuff with tact, and they always, I don't know about if anybody heard, but there's like a group of sentences. And I remember one of the sentences where it's like, pass me the tea bag compared to pass me the tea bag, right? Just the way you pause or the way you gesture makes the difference in a sentence, right? In leadership, right? So when you have these people, you can't say things a certain way so directly because they will feel a certain way about it. I remember asking somebody to re-put paper into the printer, and I guess the tone I used and how direct it was, they just, "Well, you don't have to yell at me." And I'm like, yo, just put the paper in the printer, okay?
Right.
That's it. Whoever the last one to do this and do that, I'm sorry, but at the same time, how you say stuff really matters. This is the part where manhood in leadership is not an easy thing, where you have to decipher on when and what and where to say and do certain things. It would have been just as easy for him to say, hey, let's clean this. Let's clean this real quick. You know, did they even tell you how to clean it when you got it pierced? Did they show you? Because your ear could get affected like this. If I'm smelling
you see right there.
You're a couple steps away from an infection. So let's go ahead and take care of that.
Right.
Now, me personally, if I have to tell you that, part of my attraction is done. And so this might be our last interaction. However, you know, you still have to lead in all situations. And, you know, you got to understand on when to be a tough leader, when to be a passionate leader, when to do these things. But these are things that the skills that you are going to develop within yourself to make yourself just a better leader.
Right. And I just want to keep in mind that, guys, you know, we're talking about women that we're actually leading, not just chicks that you still got to know the type of chick that you're talking about, because not every woman deserves your leadership. So,
yeah. You should be saying shit to a woman that's not under you.
Exactly. So if she's just a fuck buddy, or she's just some chick you just met at the club, listen, you know, her ear stinks because she ain't cleaned her damn piercing. Yo, leave that alone. Keep it moving. Don't say nothing. Yeah. Get what you came to get and bounce.
Yeah, that was just
another. I want to talk about also inconsistencies when you very first meet women. And I tell you guys all the time, you should already know what you want to do. Okay, and what I mean by that is this: if you're mainly motivated just to have sex, you really don't want to date her like that. You really ain't trying to kick it with her. Then come at her with that energy out the gate. If you're interested in dating a woman, but sex is definitely a must, then, you know, I like what Elle and Miles say about the 2-date minimum shit, and I'm with them on that. By the second time I see you, come on now, like, hey, look, we grown ups, you know, don't play with me. You know what I'm saying? By the second time, like we grown ups. But anyway, but my point is this, and guys, it don't even got to be that. It can be however you want it to be. Guys, look, your way don't got to be our way, and vice versa. But you need a certain way that you do things. You need to establish a certain way that you do things that's in alignment with how you want your relationships to be, and never deviate from that. No matter what the woman is saying, never, because your consistency is paramount. And here's the thing: when you guys are dealing with women, if they are resisting what you're talking about, you can never have a good relationship with that woman. Right. And the reason why is you're not compatible. And I want guys to really understand. Anytime a woman resists what you're saying and she's reluctant to meet you out and all of that, you guys are instantly not compatible. So even if you dealt with her, the fact that you're dealing with her, you're displaying inconsistency in your character, because you should know better than to deal with a woman who don't want you. But y'all got it.
Real talk. All right, guys, call in, guys. 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. Phone lines are on. Go ahead and call in.
Okay, you need to re-ask your question. This is a very elementary way to ask a question. What is the relationship with consistency and discipline? First of all, you need to have that for yourself. A lot of you guys, there are things that you lack that women desperately need, right? In order for the relationship to be mutually beneficial and healthy for both people. There are things you lack yourself, and you're trying to get into a relationship. It's like you guys are trying to bake a cake without the eggs.
Right.
It ain't gonna happen. Right. So you need the discipline with yourself. Go ahead, Miles.
So I'll say this about in from my perspective, consistency and discipline. So discipline to me, I don't know why, as soon as I start talking, my camera starts to do this shit. Anyway, discipline to me, I think, is the mindset, and consistency is the action. Mm-hmm. You understand? So I think if you have a disciplined mindset, then you're able to be consistent more efficiently, right? Meaning that you're able to do the same thing over and over, keep a schedule, your time management skills are in place because you have a mentality of discipline. And so, you get closer to your goals faster and more efficiently because you have the mindset that takes you in that direction, and then you also execute action of consistency. So I think that's where it is. One is mindset, one is action.
No, I thoroughly agree with you on that one, Miles. In fact, I think discipline is one of the true baselines of of manhood. A lot of times when I mentor some of these younger guys that's going from 17 to 18 to 19, I let them know, like, hey, there's no restriction right now. Nobody's going to say you didn't take the trash out. You're in trouble. There's nobody that's saying any of this stuff. You're on your own. You're doing things. You got your job, your car, your place. There's nobody that's going to say, hey, you left that place clean. You're in trouble. You can't go out tonight. So you have to develop the discipline within yourself to make sure these things are taken care of. And to me, that's a strong baseline. If you're not disciplined, then it takes everything off the board. You're not going to be consistent in nothing.
That's right.
Also, being indecisive. My bad, real quick, Mr. Justin. Indecisive. When you talk about consistency, when you talk about indecisiveness and all these things kind of tend to be around each other. A lot of guys, they lack the ability to make choices for fear of making a mistake. This is why guys have the analysis by paralysis. What if I say something she don't like? What if my breath stink? What if I'm not tall enough? What if my chain is too little? And you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the fuck the case may be, right? All these different things lead to indecisiveness. So I assure you, an inconsistent man is also pretty much indecisive. My bad, you got it.
Yeah, I was going to say that discipline is the inner sovereign. So it's the capacity to choose action over inaction, discomfort over comfort, the demanded over the desired. So discipline is like honing a blade, right? If you've ever gotten into metalwork, like sharpening knives or anything like that, discipline is the thing that hones the blade. Consistency is the pattern created by discipline. And so if you were keeping it on the knife metaphor, discipline is the blade that's created. The consistency is the cut that the blade makes.
Are we good on calls right now?
You on mute, Miles.
Yeah, you muted, man.
Miles, you on mute.
Yeah, my bad. 844-672-7300. Guys, call in 844-672-7300. This is a free call-in show, so go ahead and call in. Please don't wait till the end, guys.
So Boxing says, does a man's inconsistency come from his lack of skill sets or his lack of drive when it comes to his pathway in the game? A lack of consistency can come from various different things. And we alluded to it earlier. It can be things that are deep rooted from something that happened when you was a child, perhaps. But also when you think about just a person who's just inconsistent, they just have an inconsistent. We all know people like this, where you can't depend on them, you can't trust them, you can't call them for shit. You know what I'm saying?
It could be just plain up old stupidity.
Yeah.
You said what?
I said it could be just plain old stupidity.
It could be that too. It could be various reasons. But either way, when you talk about inconsistency, these and both Justin and Jay said it, Jay Roman said it. You're talking about discipline. A lot of guys really don't have any discipline over their life in general. They have no discipline in their life. So even when it comes to women, there's no discipline in how they do anything, how they interact with women, how they set up dates, how they deal. There's no consistency. They literally just kind of go where the woman is taken.
That's why I get so upset with myself if I do something inconsistently, right? Because to me, and I like the way Justin put it, as far as action and non-action, it's laziness. You're choosing to stay stagnant. You're choosing not to move. You're choosing not to do what you know that you should do. You're choosing not to try to do something. You're choosing not to learn about something. I don't know about finances. I don't know about putting this 401 thing together. Did you look at anything? Did you study anything? Did you ask anybody? What do you do to maintain a certain drive about yourself? And I think when you think about it, you sat back and you were lazy. You took the easiest route And a lot of times that easiest route really doesn't add for anything to you, but just comfort. It's just comfort for yourself to sit there, and then you put lies on top of it. You tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow." You tell yourself, "Oh, I didn't know all this information," so you do all this different stuff that basically allows you to continue to be lazy, and you try to justify it when personally at the end of the day. And I think this is why a lot of people, especially guys, they get depressed because they have this internal battle where they know what they should do, but yet they don't do it. And to me, it's just a lot of times it's just an act of laziness.
You said internal battle. Part of being indecisive is cognitive dissonance. When you have this internal conflict. Okay, and what I mean by that, when we talk about inconsistency, you have a lot of guys, they have a certain view of sex that doesn't jive with them trying to get sex, if that makes sense. They have a certain view of women and sex that doesn't jive with their desire to want to get into casual sex encounters. So what I mean by that, if you have a guy who thinks promiscuous women or horrible, or women's body counts, or anything negative about women having sex, but yet you're trying to engage in casual sex yourself, you're going to have inconsistencies in how you deal with women. It's guaranteed. But y'all got it.
Oh, I wanted to say something real quick. The question about the drive, is that question still up? Can I see it again, please?
Yeah. Let me grab it. My bad. Where is it at? Was it this one right here? Right. Yep.
Yeah. So when you again, I'm always looking at words and how they're being used. So he said his lack of drive, right, when it comes to his pathway. So when I hear words like drive, I think of motivation, and I always tell guys, motivation is feminine. You understand? Consistency and motivation are two different things. Like drive is similar to motivation. So it's like, to me, what you're saying is the amount of energy that you have to go after your goals. You get what I'm saying? Like, oh, are you driven? Are you motivated to do this? Are you know what I'm saying? Are you excited about moving in this direction? Again, I need guys to understand, when it comes to consistency and discipline, these two ideas do not care how you feel. You understand? Motivation is to me, is like in the beginning of the year, people set their New Year's resolutions. Everybody's at the gym. Everybody's eating right. All of this bullshit. But then by March, February, it's like, oh, people start to fall off because
the gym's a ghost town.
Yeah, the motivation the motivation goes away. Yep. The drive goes away. You get what I'm saying? Consistency, in my opinion, has nothing to do with drive, has nothing to do with motivation, because even the beautiful part about consistency is that even when you feel like shit, you still wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, take your ass to the gym, get on the treadmill, lift the weights, whatever you're gonna do. Even if you don't do it at your full intensity, you still do it. You still do 5-6 sets of whatever the fuck you do. Because it's not about how you feel and your drive. It's about, I'm getting it done because this is a necessity for my day. It is in my schedule. You understand? And again, when you create a schedule and you have that disciplined mindset and consistent action, you execute your schedule, you execute your time management based on the practice of it, not based on your drive or your motivation. So I just wanted to point that out, where it's not about drive and it's not about motivation. It's about just doing the shit because it needs to get done.
People try to put a spin on it, and I like the point that you made, Miles, with people. It's a habit. No, it's not a habit. It's a design consistency that I do. It's not a habit. It's not accidental. Sometimes people say it's a habit, like, it's a
lifestyle.
It's a
choice.
habit. It's just something that you do. No. It's a consistent thing that I make sure that I do. It didn't happen accidentally.
Yeah. It's I like to say it's a lifestyle choice. And what I mean by that is this: when when I have women that I categorize as fuck buddies, I treat them all the same. It doesn't matter what woman it is.
Right.
You're in that category. So I operate within a framework of that category that I put you in. I operate within that category. Now, if you're moving in such a way where I see some potential that we could date, then I'm going to move you to another category and I'm going to treat you and operate within the confines of that. So I'm not going to treat you differently because you're prettier or because your coochie get wetter or because you ain't got no gag reflex, right? I'm going to appreciate all of those things about you, but I'm not jumping my timeline. I'm not moving you up, right? I'm still going to, do my due diligence and be vigilant in how I deal with you, because there's a certain way I want my relationships to be. And if I move too fast because I'm excited and I'm allowing my feelings and emotions in a moment and I'm allowing my dick to think for me. And a lot of you guys, you do just that. And that creates inconsistency in your behaviors. Because once you start making decisions based on your feelings and your mood, which is very feminine, your mood, you know what I'm saying? Once you start making decisions based on that shit, you're always going to be betrayed by your emotions and feelings. Always. Right? But y'all got it.
I wanted to dovetail on something that Miles said and bring it out to a larger scope to show how all this shit is connected and how it all originates with the men. So when you're not affected by motivation, you're not affected by drive, and you're more so focused on consistency of what must get done according to your plans, your program, and so on. What this does is it trains you away from your feelings. Okay? Now, imagine being in a relationship or your marriage or what have you. This is going to permeate into the relationship itself. So there will always be times when something comes up and she doesn't feel like doing something. She doesn't feel like doing this or feel like saying that or whatever. If you're not trained yourself, if you've not trained yourself to get away from that and to stick to the paradigm of being focused on just what must get done, then you're more likely to get pulled into her whatever the fuck she's doing. Okay, just like the client that I told you about, like when things are going great, everything's fine. When things are not, he gets pulled into her frame. He gets pulled into her way of seeing the world as she's experiencing it. Okay, that's all that frame is, by the way. So that's what happens. So if he's stuck in his way of doing things, whenever a variable comes up, her having some sort of reaction, it's going to be dealt with in the same way. Right? It's just like, okay, this is what needs to be done. And eventually this is what over time can teach her. Okay. So in my world of like BDSM, I notice this happens a lot. Okay. When the woman is feeling good, she easily submits. She does all this, she does all that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But if he is in such a way that is, kind of making her feel bad or making her upset or making her angry or frustrated or something like that, something ego triggering, then a lot of times she falls out of submission. And she's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, like whatever. And so what you're doing is you're trying through being an example and maintaining this is that you over time train her to do the same thing. Like we're not doing this only as like fair weather friends, right?
Exactly.
Like fair weather relationship people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, no. This is how we are, regardless of the good day, the bad day, the rain, the sun. It doesn't fucking matter. This is what we are doing.
Yo, listen. Let me tell you guys, and this is something that I have learned about myself, and I have contended with in my life. And sometimes I ain't even gonna lie. Sometimes it still gets me, right. And this is something that I've noticed about myself, even in concern of having a relationship with my mother. And I know that a lot of other guys go through this, right? Which is why and Justin, you really hit the nail on the head. This is our consistency and our discipline and our logical mindset as men is something that we also have to fight to keep it rectified. You understand? We have to fight to maintain that perspective. Because there are times when
you have emotions too.
Yeah, no, and here's the thing. And the reason why I talked about the relationship with my mother, right, is that we've had calls on the lives, and I've traced this back even during like client coaching sessions, where a lot of the issue of pedestaling women has to do with a young man's need to get validation from his mother, to get validation from the first example of feminine energy in his life. You understand? And so, for example, what I mean is this. You know how you will, as a young kid, you'll do your chores and say, "Hey, mom, I washed the dishes. Is everything okay?" Or, "Hey, mom, I did this," or, "Hey, you should be happy now because I cleaned my room," and so on and so forth. Right? Because you could tell when your mom is not happy with you, and so you do these things in order to satisfy her and to get her validation and approval. And what I'm saying is that carries into your relationships with women, where there are times in the relationship when you're not necessarily even doing anything wrong, but you just know that your woman is not happy because she has those dynamics of emotions. And as a man, if you fall off your consistency and start to get sucked into or drawn into her vacuum of emotional instability, so to speak, right? You will lose your fucking mind trying to quote unquote make her happy. You know those nice guys who always constantly asking a girl, "Hey, you okay? You feeling okay? You enjoying yourself?" Or or a guy that's on a first date and he's trying to impress the girl and he's like, "Are you having a good time? Is there anything I can get you?" You understand what I'm saying? You will lose your fucking mind trying to keep a woman quote unquote happy 100% of the times, all day, every day. It doesn't work that way.
Look, I'm a huge proponent of a woman's mood should not make your mood change.
It's exactly
your mood, bro. This is why when guys be like, "Oh, I'll be sitting in the car," because, bro, a woman's mood. Look, shit. No, let me tell you something. And I love telling this story. I remember one time I came home. I don't know if I was at work, if I was out and about. This is when I was still married and shit. I was with one of my exes. I forgot which one and shit. So I came because we had a 2-story crib. The master bedroom was downstairs.
Yeah.
So I stuck my head into the room. She was sitting on the couch on a laptop or something. I stuck my head into the room, nodded, "What's up, babe?" She just kind of looked at me, just gave me a look, nigga. You know that, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I did? I smiled, I closed the door, I went upstairs, I turned on ESPN, I turned on the Xbox, and I turned on my computer. And I said, I'm going to alternate between editing YouTube videos and watching ESPN and playing this game. I was going to spend time with her today, but she ain't going to get that time because she in a mood. And whenever she's ready to talk about it, she can come talk to me. But I'm not going to let her sour mood, nigga. I'm in a great mood, right? And that's what I'm saying. Your mood should not be impacted. Now, if it's something serious where your woman just found out that her mother, got a terminal illness or something like that, that's a little different, right? I
Different story. Right. No, it be them times. It be the times where whatever's going on, and it don't even gotta be PMS or nothing. There are just times when whatever's going on in her mind, she ain't totally satisfied with whatever's happening at this moment. And so a lot of dudes expect for every moment of their relationship to be cheery and rainbow and laughing. And, it's not always like that. And some guys get really insecure if their woman is not always on 10 emotionally or mood wise. It's like, no, brother, no, you relax. You stay consistent. Let her fluctuate. You maintain your situation, your mindset, do what you know you're supposed to do, stay consistent. Because here's what happens when you allow her like emotional fluctuations or mood swings, whatever you want to call them, to change your mood, then the both of y'all is fucked up. And no one has anyone to look to.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? So it's important for us as men to maintain that consistency. And that's what women are attracted to. They want to have the freedom to emotionally be to emotionally fluctuate, but in the back of their mind know that they have you to lean on. You see what I'm saying? And that's what makes them attracted to you.
And I think that's for those who have sons, need to teach them that too at a young age.
Right.
To say, hey, let's go do this over here. We're gonna let that have its moment. We're gonna let that moment be there.
Go.
And the way you handle things around your children means they're observing and they're seeing. So a son can observe his father, be like, "Oh, okay, Like I have, one of my sayings that I say is, look, your bad day ain't gonna be my bad day. So I'm not gonna. You could be having a bad day, but it doesn't mean I'm going to have a bad day too. So,
There you go. And again, and to me, I'm all about communication. Because sometimes women look, and I've said this about women. I love women, but when you are in a relationship, well, not a relationship with a woman, but when I'm in a relationship with you, rather, she's gonna have bouts of insecurities all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta stand firm in your shit, and you can't be inconsistent. Because when she's going through her bouts of insecurities, and when they're on a period, that can definitely happen, right? So, but when you're acting all girly and shit, and she's going through that, you got two emotional motherfuckers. That don't work. It creates problems.
Yep.
The woman, the man is always the guiding light for the woman. Always the guiding light. Shout out to Renee, and I'm gonna be your guiding light.
Oh my gosh!
Lots of love to the panel. Blessings to carry always.
Yes, Daddy.
Yes. Grab the wand.
Shout out to Unique 79. He says with the £20 super chat, he says people will confuse being consistent with being predictable, but being predictable from a consistent foundation with a masculine identity, shout out to Miles, will show that you are not a walking contradiction. Thoughts?
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. And that was something when I came up with the title. Anytime I talk about being consistent, that's something that I always think about. Is you have a lot of guys, unfortunately, they associate that with, oh, you're going to be boring, you're going to be predictable. No. You can still be spontaneous and consistent. Because I'm very spontaneous. I'll call a chick up, a woman that I'm dating, not a woman that I'm fucking, a woman that I'm dating. Hey, I'll be there in an hour. Be ready. Click. She don't know nothing.
Right.
Okay. Now, depending on where we're going, I might have to tell her, hey, wear something casual, wear some tennis shoes or something, or wear whatever. I might have to, break. But they don't even ask me, so where we're going. You know why? Because I've been so consistent, the trust is there.
Right.
It's there.
Exactly.
And those are the building blocks for me to even be able to call a chick. Hey, be ready in an hour. I'm coming to scoop you. Hang up, and she's ready. Right. But when you don't have that type of consistency, you might have a chick. Where are we going? What do I got to wear? What are we going to do? Are you sure? An hour? Are you sure? Because you've been so inconsistent, she can't trust you. Y'all got it.
Exactly. And I think what you're talking about is the quality and the standard. You understand? The standard is consistent, but that doesn't mean we're going to go to the same place every time. That doesn't mean but the places that we go to are going to be of a certain quality and of a certain standard. You get what I'm saying? And like you said, if you tell her to be ready in an hour, because your standard is that you're an on-time individual, she doesn't need to question you. She doesn't need to ask all these questions because she knows the type of man that she's dealing with. So in that way, being consistent or having a certain standard does not mean you lack spontaneity or you're boring. And that's the problem with so many, the average dude. They don't understand that. They think, oh well, if I want to be exciting, let me pick her up 15 minutes late. And it's like, nope, that's not how that works. That's not how that works.
I'm actually never spontaneous. It may feel like it's spontaneous to her, but I am never spontaneous to myself, because that means I'm reacting. I'm feeling a certain way and I'm inspired and I'm going to go, oh, I'll do this now. No. Exactly. I am never spontaneous to myself. I'm only perceived as spontaneous, and she'll think, "Oh my gosh, this is so exciting!" It's like, no. This has been purely thought out. The whole play has been designed.
Great.
Yeah, there's no fucking spontaneity for me.
Great. I'm glad you said that, because that kind of covered me up for not being clarifying that. But great point that to the woman, because she don't know. But in order for you to even call and say, be ready an hour, you already got the plan. You've already executed the plan, right? So, because you already know. So to Justin's point, perfect example. And let me just say this. And regardless of what guys think, women are not robots, meaning not everything has to be on this tight, pristine schedule to her. To you, yes, to you, everything is scheduled out just right. But to her, right, you know, hit her up and let her know. You ain't always got to let her know, hey, next week at 7:00. No, once you get to a certain point in the relationship, hey, have your ass ready in 30 minutes. I'll be there.
And I think if it don't go the way you want it to go, then there's some things you haven't done to instill the trust of consistency for her.
Right.
On the stuff, and you shouldn't go. So, one time I did that, Zag, when, hey, just be ready and da-da-da-da. And I got too many questions, so I had to tell her, like, hey, we not going anymore. She said, why? I just, one, it's just too many questions. You don't feel comfortable enough with me, so I can make this happen, And honestly, I just didn't like all the questions. Like, hey, pump brakes. I'm trying to go and have a great time. I got stuff planned in my head, and we're going to have fun. But then again, it's a reality wake up that, there's something that I missed, or I progressed this relationship too fast where you don't trust me like this. And so, we can't do this. We can't do this. Of course, next time when I say let's go do something, there was no questions. But either way, it was still the fact that, this wasn't ready for that type of surprise. So, I want to kind of do the PA announcement here that, fellas, we are still talking about ourselves, though. I don't know if you noticed when Justin said, hey, the consistency is not for something that I feel, because I'm always consistent. This is his mode of operation. I guess when it gets to a certain point in the relationship, he can do this. That's consistent on how he acts. And I just kind of want fellas that are listening, it is not really about her, because you're not getting a report card from her about your consistency. You're not getting a report card from her about your spontaneity. It has to deal with you and how you move. So
right, exactly.
Well, and here it is. Like, even when we're talking about just having a structured way that you do things, having a vetting process, things of this nature, it's to police yourself. It's to I'll never forget. I remember I was introduced to this chick, and right when I was introduced to her, I said to myself, yeah, I'm going to enjoy getting to know her, right? Because there was something about her that just intrigued me. But as I was dealing with her, although I saw these things that intrigued me that I typically didn't see in other women right away, I still had to say, bro, you still got to put her through the paces, though. Okay, you can't jump the gun. You can't move up shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. You can't move up the timeline for her just because you're seeing all of these quote unquote great things and attributes. You still have to let it play out over time, right? Because you need to see how consistently she responds to your leadership.
Right.
Now, if I'm consistent, she's gonna see the same shit. So how consistently can she respond to my leadership? How cooperative is she consistently, no matter what I'm seeing? Right. And I think a lot of guys, and I think Jay Roman, you said it earlier when you was talking about the young lady and how she was questioning you, how maybe you rushed the relationship along too quickly. And I think what happens with that is you don't establish the proper boundaries. There are boundaries that need to be established before you move to the next stage of the situation. Like, even when you talk about spending the night, sharing a meal, and all that, these are certain parameters and boundaries need to be set. So there's an understanding. So again, when you make decisions as a man, you don't want to be all in your feelings. Oh man, she's so beautiful. I like her so much. And then you make a decision with that feeling. But y'all got it, man.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Guys, call in. Because I was checking the phone lines. The phone lines are working, man. So I don't know what's up. 844-672-7300. Guys, please call in. Don't wait till the end. Go ahead and call in. Buckeye 22 says, have you ever dealt with a woman who wasn't drawn to you as a man, but the feeling your masculine presence gave her, like an energy vampire?
It's a weird question.
Yeah.
What's an energy vampire?
Or a woman who wasn't drawn to you as a man. I'm a man, so a woman is always, any woman is, even when a woman doesn't want my dick, she's still drawn to me as a man because I'm a man. So
Is the energy vampire one of those pill things?
No. It's just somebody who so it sounds to me like he's saying this girl didn't like me for me. She liked me for how I made her feel. And that's what she was after.
Right. All right, hold on one second. All right, so we got 205. 205, you're on live with the Manhood is a Skill Set Show. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
I'm having a
man. Stefan, Birmingham, 31.
All right. What's going on, man? How you doing? How old are you? Excuse me. What's your question?
Okay, for sure. So it was kind of back to what K Zagan was saying about validation. I posted in the comments. I'm just holding this. And so my question would be here's my struggle. What I notice. I tend to I watched my mom struggle financially growing up, right?
Right.
So I would watch if I'm dating a woman or whatever, and they say, man, I got to pick up this from Walmart, or I got to get this from Target, and I got to wait for 2 weeks. I ain't got the money. In my head, I automatically go back and relive the times where mom didn't have it, and now I feel the need to do something about it because I don't want to relive that. Mom is deceased. So my question is, how do you get the validation, or how do you change your mindset to where that behavior don't exist anymore?
Well,
so you're needing that.
Are you asking about you getting validation or seeking validation?
Well, yes. Well, here's the thing. You made this statement, and I realized it is true of myself. So you were stating that guys will need to be validated by their mom through their interactions with women they're dating, and that's what I thought I heard you say.
So
you were saying based on
yeah, and I'm not sure if I quite put it that way, but that is true. I think someone else might have said something, but what does happen is a lot of guys, they feel a desire to be needed, and a lot of times that could be financial, but it's not so much about giving women money. It can be she needs a ride. I'll take her. I'm not gonna ask for no gas money or nothing. Oh, her phone's about to die, man. She needs to talk to her kids, right? So guys they'll rationalize what they're about to do, but it's almost like if I can feel needed by this person and I do things for this person will endear themselves to me because of what I'm doing. And what usually happens is guys do shit on the front end for that validation. And then when they don't get reciprocation and sometimes it's not even looking for a reciprocation. Y'all just looking for gratitude, some type of appreciation. And then when you don't get it, you get upset at the chick. You get upset at the woman. And that's because you're doing what you're doing. You're not really doing it from a place of sincerity. You're doing it from a place to feed something within yourself. Yeah,
so it's really ego. So I'm living through my ego.
It's deeper than just ego. It's deeper than just ego. It's a feeling for acceptance. Maybe with your mom, and I'm not talking about you in specifically. Maybe with your mom, you always felt like
you speaking specific to me.
But okay, cool. But you probably felt like nobody was ever there for her. No one really had her back. So it's my job to do it. And then maybe when you see other women, it's not even a conscious thought. It's because you've been doing it for so long and you've conditioned yourself to look at it a certain way. When you see other women in need, I got to help her. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. But then it's not about her. You're basically using her in the situation to give yourself a drug, so to speak, to feel better.
Right.
Shit.
My question for the caller is, what type of feeling do you get when you do these things?
It's like, man, this is going to be a fucked up answer, but I feel like, oh man, I feel great. Like, get that. Like,
you feel like a hero.
Like a sense of completion. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, man, I did that. Man, that was great. Man, now I can move on. Knowing that.
I'm gonna show you what you feel like. But go ahead, keep talking.
Like I'm no longer worried. Like it's almost like I'm taking on somebody else's worry.
Right.
Like if they say, man, I need this done. And it's like, damn, man, why they had to say it to me? Because they know, well, I'm going to say it like what Miles has said before about me, because I've called several times. You become a mark to them. And I realize I've become a mark because people, or women in general, and some people too, can sense that they know, hey, Stefan's going to take care of it because all we got to do is tell him an issue and he's going to do it. And dude, first of all, this show is off the chain, man. Like, I'm so serious. This has been a groundbreaking show. That's why I couldn't really call in at first because I was soaking up so much of the game.
Right.
But I've noticed that about myself. It's like, wait a minute. What is it about me? And it's not really them. It's who I'm presenting.
Right.
That I'm trying to validate my ego through something that I watched my mom go through. And I'm going to tell you, Mr. Justin alluded to this about maybe a month ago when I called in. And he said, it seems like mom issues. And so when I hear mom issues, y'all, I always think of the bad, like I hate my mom. And it's not that. I'm learning now that the mom issues are also maybe what you would have thought you would have wanted her to be. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
No, these are very insightful conversations.
Yep. And real quick, a lot of times what guys find themselves doing, you find yourself trying to be the man you thought your mama deserved for every woman you meet.
Oof.
God damn.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's
you
what
can't, and you can't be that.
And guess what? And now I'm having dad issues based on that. Because and me and dad are cool. We kind of working stuff out, man. But I'm always thinking about what he didn't do growing up. And so every time we chilling or something, or we on the phone chopping it up, I get that nostalgia of what I thought my childhood should have been.
Right.
Hey, caller.
Damn, this. Yes, sir.
Let me say this, because you have to figure out certain things. Because how old are you again? I think you said 31, right?
31. Yes, sir.
I'm a big component of, once I know the reason why I do something, once I can pinpoint it, then that's the start of me changing it. Right? Because you have to be aware of it. And then once you become aware as a grown individual, you can make steps to change it. I always consider myself a nice guy. You know, I had 2 beautiful parents. I went through some stuff. You know, we weren't the richest, went through all this other stuff, but you know, my parents tried, but they couldn't get along with each other. I ain't never been my mom's husband, and you know, I don't know what type of wife she is. Just like, you know, I don't know what type of husband my pops is. I just know what type of father and mother they were. Right. So when you come from that perspective, you have to understand that, number one, you can't be or never could be what your mother would want as a mate, because you were a son.
Oedipus complex, motherfucker. Yeah.
Right. So you always have to say that to yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I am still a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. Right. But then I had to change that. And it came from LL Cool J. I like the way he said it. He said, I'm not a nice guy. I'm a good guy. And that's a big difference. One of the things that you have to decipher from is, I can't give this person to everybody. This person is for those who deserve it.
Right.
And they don't just deserve it because they know you.
How do you remain consistent? How do you remain consistent in your behavior if I'm giving out portions of myself to people? If that makes sense. Like if I'm not opening up the layers of.
Can I say it simply and you understand what I say? What I will say simply is, don't do that. Don't give it to everybody.
Self-respect.
You have to say, hey, everybody doesn't deserve this great guy like me. Do you really believe every woman you meet deserves the greatest guy that you got?
So that's what you mean. I don't believe that. And now I see what y'all mean by valuing yourself. Because it's almost like I'm giving everybody I want the Rolls Royce, knowing that they don't even deserve a ticket to the bus. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm giving them everything oh, as soon as I meet them, oh, I need XYZ. And then they turn around and like you said, the minute they come across as ungrateful, or they come across as, you know, they're not giving me the response I'm looking for. Now I'm ready to cut them off. So I'm inconsistent. Then it's not a place of sincerity.
I had it worse than you, because I would tell myself, I don't want nobody to change the type of man that I am, because I decided what type of man I was. So if I wanted to be nice, even though they didn't deserve it, I justified it in my head, because I would say, I don't want nobody changing the type of man that I am, but me. Right? But you can't, like, you know what to do. Like, it sounds to me you're a pretty deep thinker. It sounds to me that you're pretty aware of yourself. It's almost like you know what to do. You're justifying not doing it.
Right. That's true. I tell you, this is a journey. Because I'm relearning everything, like, since I've been following you guys. Like, not just that, but getting programs here and there. Mainly I vibe with Steve.
Right.
But I rock with all y'all. But I'm saying, as far as like learning your core and stuff and learning who you are, because that's what I say. It ain't even about women at this point. It's about figuring out who the hell I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you on a program? Somebody's program?
He said Steve. He said he rocked with Steve.
No, he said that he rocks with him. It's like,
with it.
Are you on anybody's program though?
Go ahead.
Are you on anybody's program?
No.
Okay, so you will try to complete everybody else but yourself. You're cheating yourself right now. You can't get all the advice for you the way it should be done to help you get better unless you get on somebody's program where they can actually direct their advice to you.
So the main investments need to be in myself, as opposed to, you know, okay, that's making sense.
No, because you're hearing tidbits from different shows and you're applying it to yourself. So you're doing the work. The only thing is you're not getting all the tidbits you need to do the work specifically for you.
And let me add this caller.
And if you're on somebody's program, that will happen.
Okay, let me add this caller. See, the best way to invest in a woman is to invest in yourself.
Oh.
Okay. Far too many guys, and I heard that somewhere before. Somebody said it. I don't know. One of my niggas said it. I don't know. I didn't come up with that. It sounds good to the motherfucker, but I'm not the one who. But real quick. So the best way to invest in a woman is, but it's true though. It's facts. And here's the thing. The problem with the average guy is so busy trying to give a woman what she wants instead of what she needs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? A woman needs structure. Okay, a woman needs order. A woman needs consistency. She needs leadership. That's what she needs. She don't need multiple dates. She don't need trips when you just met her. She don't need all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, or she don't need a listening ear for her problems and you just met her last week. She's not even in a position to be talking to you about all that type of shit. Like, she hasn't earned that type of. Let me just say this real quick. When you guys are dealing with women, don't open up your life and just let women in and just give them all types of access. No. They got to earn that shit. And I've said this before, and you're never going to hear women talk about this publicly on any one of these platforms. Women understand, for them, the importance of non-sexual attention, affection, intimacy. That's the shit that makes relationships go. Sex is important, but that non-sexual shit, that's very, very important. But y'all give women that out the gate. Like, you just give that to them. And it's like, no. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, and it's not about holding it hostage. It's about, one, some of the women you meet aren't even worthy of that kind of energy. But not only that, the timing that you're giving it to them, right? And this is the mistake that you guys make. When y'all give them all that non-sexual shit, what happens is, after you guys fuck them a couple times, You either realize the chick can't suck dick like you like, you realize her arch game is trash, or just something about her that you really don't like. So what you start to do is pull back. You don't want to talk to her on the phone as much. You don't want to see her as much. Now when you go over, you just want to hit it and dip. And she ain't gonna let you do that because you ain't never did it like that. But you want to switch up, and this is where women be getting at y'all, because in their minds you're changing. No, you're not changing. You was never that dude. You're just being inconsistent.
Right.
I got it.
And that's when they tell you, "Oh, you treat me like a piece of meat." So now,
Exactly, because you're switching up.
Okay, because I'm inconsistent. I'll turn around and be on the phone with them for an hour and a half and even put plans on hold that I'm trying to do. And yeah, oh man.
Hour and a half.
And then the next minute, you want to talk for 5 minutes. She's like, no, where's my hour?
Mm.
And that's a mistake.
Right.
So if you meet, hold on real quick, caller, real quick. Hold on, caller, real quick. Let me just say this. I know some of you guys do this. When y'all meet chicks and y'all be calling them on y'all 15-minute breaks and shit, and you get them used to that shit, and then you stop doing that shit, it's a problem for them. Y'all got it.
So caller, caller, you got anything else, or you have any other questions, or?
No, sir, man. Salute to the game. I'm gonna jump back in the chat, man.
All right,
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Great call, man.
Go get on Steve's program or something. Don't cheat yourself no more.
Yeah, man. You got to invest, man. You already a grown ass man. Like you got to stop.
Yeah, I know. I'm almost halfway through life, and
exactly.
I realize I'm like, man, I'm too. You feel bad. I feel bad.
No, I'm living forever.
I'm so far behind.
Right. So
but
so get on somebody's program and really get started, man. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for the call.
Appreciate you.
All right.
We good on calls?
Yeah, we're good on calls for now. Guys, go ahead and call in 844-672-7300. 844-672-7300. Go ahead and call in.
So
let me say this real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Just real quick, Zach. Let me say this real quick. Fellas, stop. I love the fact there's a lot of people that watch the shows, but don't watch it trying to steal tidbits of advice to try to apply to yourself when you can get the full advice for yourself. Right. And I don't even have a program for you to invest in. So this ain't got nothing to do with money. This is just actually spending time and getting the time to really work for you to be better for you. And once you realize how much it helps you and not dealing with women, just personally, that's going to be a life-lasting change for yourself. When those eyes open up and you go, oh man, I've been doing that all wrong. Okay, now I know what's up. Now I know what I need to do. Now I know how I need to live. That's refreshing, and it's a lot. It's a de-stressing. It's refreshing. I don't hear. There's not one time that I speak to any one of these people and I hear anything about them being down about anything.
Oh hell no. Oh hell
right.
No.
So
my life,
some people,
let me tell you something.
Some people they're down about everything, or they have the excuse, I haven't had my coffee this morning. I ain't done this yet. I ain't done that. I go to work. People say, "How you doing?" Hey man, I woke up breathing today. It was a good start. After that, it's all about me. Wow, that's a really way to put it. Like, no, it's not. It's just about waking up. Like, we all woke up.
But not only that, but I control the controllables and I let God handle the rest. Bro, I don't sweat what I can't control. Like, I'm not even gonna worry about that shit. Like if somebody do some shit and I can't control what's going on with it, I just shrug my shoulders and keep it pushing. Like people be letting shit stress them out. And my thing is, life is too goddamn short to be mad all the goddamn time. Life is too goddamn short to be worried and overthinking shit. Nah, bro, just handle your business. If you handle your business, you'll have peace of mind. Just handle your fucking business. But we got this question. Let me get to this motherfucker quick. So he says, is it a way to get my relationship? No. Back on track. If I started off inconsistent when I didn't know the game, now I know what to do, but she is not adhering to my leadership. I think I just need to leave. Yes. Let me tell you guys something. And I've been saying this. And this is just the truth of the matter. And this is the reality. When you guys are currently dating women, or in a relationship with a woman and you're having inconsistencies and you start listening to us, if you're actually learning shit, in most cases, you really can't apply it to the old chick. It's for the new chicks. It's for the new women. It's for the new you, because you're changing your perspective, how you think. You're changing your mentality, but the woman is not gonna allow that new person to live in the same house as her. The old you. Like, this is another reason why you shouldn't be fucking with exes, because if you mature and grow and evolve, they'll never appreciate the new you. They will always look at you as the old you. Even in relationships, when you're trying to teach her shit, subconsciously she's like, it's too late. It's too late to implement that masculine leadership. I'm used to this.
Right. Shit. What was that thing that happened on like the red carpet? Was it like Michael B. Jordan? And he got interviewed or questioned by this girl who knew him back in high school. Yeah. And she always knew him as a chump.
Right.
And she still saw him as a chump, regardless of his looks, his status, his fame, his money. In her eyes, he was still that little chump from high school.
Exactly. And it's hard for people to, because it's embedded in their mind as to who you are. So just because you look different, yeah, they can say, yeah, he or she looks better, but you still that motherfucker though, to me.
Right.
I would say that if it's a long-term relationship, like you're married, you know what I'm saying? There's a commitment involved in there. Not just like, oh, we've been together for a long time, but I'm saying like you're married. You absolutely can change things around, okay? But it takes consistency. It takes a lot of fucking hard work on yourself and learning a lot of skills of like how to see and how to actually start engaging her core, which is going to change her perception of you and how she behaves. And this all takes a lot of time. It takes focused effort, but it can be done. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like this, exactly. Like this sort of thing, this question cannot be handled like over watching some videos. Like this takes focused, dedicated coaching, and it will probably take 6 months to a year to get to get everything on track. Because it's just not you. It's you, it's her, and it's the relationship. Right. And I would just say that there's probably a little bit of a lie here, because you said like when I didn't know the game, so that implies that now you do. But if you did, you wouldn't be asking this question in the first place. So there's that.
Right.
I'm glad you said that, Justin, because I agree this can be fixable, but it would take so long. It would take so long and some consistent coaching and consistency in that person. And I would say a whole year just for her to believe that the new person is you. That's how long it would take before you can even really work on her understanding how to be next to that new person.
Well, it's not going to work for him, and the reason why it's not going to work for him because of what he said. When I didn't know the game, you still don't, because this is what guys try and do. And I never forget. Shout out to Steve the Dean. Shout out to Steve. A few years back, before we even started doing the real game no theory shit, it was probably maybe a year or two before that. He was doing a live stream and a guy called in, and he told the guy, "Go tell that woman how you're running the show and how things are going to be this way or that way now." And on the phone, live on air, the guy went to go tell his chick, and she cursed his ass out and told him, "Hey, who the fuck you think you talking to? Get the fuck out. I don't know what you think this is." I'm on there. Right? She went the fuck off, right? And so I said all that to say this. Even in that situation, you would need coaching where you would have to implement a steady diet of the new you, but you just can't 24 hours later say, "Bitch, a new sheriff in town. You're gonna suck my dick on command now." Like no chick is gonna listen to you.
No, just because I take like a handcrafted, folded 800 times handmade samurai sword and put it in your hand doesn't make you into a fucking samurai.
Exactly.
And just because you swing it a couple of times, and think you're fucking cool, that does not make you a samurai. You need training, like internal and external.
Yes, because it's a mentality thing. Like you guys, you think you can say a couple of things. Oh, now I'm a checker all the time now. But there's no consistency in your checking because there's no consequences. And this let me say this about that. And I call a lot of you guys are toothless German shepherds, meaning you just. But let me tell you something. Okay, when I was a kid, this is one thing I learned about my parents, especially my mom. This is one thing that I learned. She's just gonna yell for a long time. It's gonna be like a threatening posture. Give it about 30 minutes, she'll get back to normal. Right? So subconsciously, I would still act up and do shit because she's just gonna yell for a minute. And I always knew where the line, because if I crossed that line, then it wasn't gonna be no yelling, it was gonna be some other shit. Right? But I always knew I can do it, some mischievous shit and get caught, and she's just gonna yell for a minute. And that's learned behavior through the inconsistencies of her, right? With the threatening, oh, I'm gonna do this, but then she doesn't, she just talks a lot, right? So what happens with you guys, you do the same thing with women, right? Where you say a lot of shit, but she know you ain't going nowhere. And how she knows? Because you never left her. You never left you. She's been right there. Hey, this ain't gonna work, girl. If you keep talking to me like that, a year later, she's still there. Girl, this ain't gonna work if you keep talking to me like that. A year later, she's still there. You have to be willing to get rid of chicks so you can understand the power of the new you. I'm just gonna get rid of them if they don't act right. I'm not gonna sit there and have all these back and forths.
Right, exactly.
Y'all got it, man.
Guys, go ahead and call in 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. Go ahead and call in. We got about 10, 15 minutes left to the show. So go ahead and call in. Please do not wait to the end.
So Dukaluk says, would you guys agree that with seduction that you can basically say anything when you're in the mood because she will understand it if she's somewhat normal, like you exude sex when you... No. Guys, you just can't
so many fucked up layers to this question.
I'm gonna let you tackle it first. Go ahead, Mr. Justin. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you get it first.
Well, first of all, like, what the fuck is seduction? You know what I'm saying? Because that implies that I'm trying to do something to or for the woman, which means I'm operating from her position, right? Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get something out of her.
Trying to get her to do
why would I even bother with that? Okay, most people, like, seduction, what comes from like the PUA bullshit is basically trying to sort out creative and manipulative ways to get a girl who doesn't already like me to like me. That's what seduction is all about. It's fucking weird, weak, manipulative bullshit. Like, you look at like the old like James Bond movies. You know what I'm saying? If any kind of seduction you might want to characterize, he's not actually doing it to her to create a certain effect. He just is that way, and she may perceive him as being seductive. But that's not doing seduction. Okay, so there's a difference between being and doing. If your being just happens to be seductive, and not because you created it in a certain way such that it will glean a certain effect, you just happen to appear that way to some women, fine. Okay, that's perceived as being seductive. But to do seduction is just it's weak, it's manipulative, it's bullshit.
It's coercion. It's damn near coercion sometimes.
Exactly, it's a form of coercion. And so the other part is like when you feel in the mood. What the fuck are moods? So like, what is seduction? What are moods? I don't know. Like, so I don't do things based on my mood. Right? I don't do things based on the woman. It's none of that stuff. It doesn't make any sense. And like, because she will understand if she's somewhat normal. What's normal? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many like weird layers to this that's basically making it all about the woman.
He says not the best English. Yeah, but that's all we can go on.
I understand that, Dukaluk. That English is not your first language, but still, it's like the mindset created the word. So maybe the translation might not be the case, like word for word from your native language to English. I get that. But the general sense here is you're making this about the woman.
So, and I agree, sex appeal in and of itself is seduction, right? I'm having a conversation with a woman where you're sexually flirtatious and it's very enticing. That's seductive, but you're not trying, you're being. And here's the thing about seduction. There is no way you can know exactly what to say to make any random woman feel anything or feel something specific, right? A random one, you're not, there's no, that's why when guys look up for pickup lines, you can say the same thing to 100 women and only one woman likes it. And it has nothing to do with the word you use per se. It's just you just happened to run into a woman who was open to the idea of you. And you said that, and she's like, okay. Like literally, you can run into a random chick. No, we should go fuck outside. Okay. You can have a woman just say that, right? But it's not because you said something super fly or anything like that. You just happened to run into a woman who viewed you that way. You said some shit, and she was like, well, my mind is already there. So you just saying that just made her want to say, okay, let's go do it now. It's nothing super hard. Y'all want to respond to his question, Miles and J-Rom?
Seduction. You can basically... If she is somewhat normal?
Yeah, that's the part that's...
Yeah, it's a weird question, bro.
What? I just thought seduction was a description of how she felt about however you said it. Because just like you said, Zach, you could be like, hey, what's up? You want to head home? Now, she's going to tell her friends he said it very seductively.
There you go.
But that's not...
There you go.
That's not...
And then to some other chick, like she might be like, oh, he was so creepy.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's all just perception. So it's like, I'm going to do things to purposely alter perception. It's so weird, man.
No. I'm just going to do me, and whatever happens, what the fuck happens? Like, I like it. And again, and I think we talked about this, Mr. Justin and fellas, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, where we did a joint and we was talking about being a certain way to try to attract women. Like, why would you be a certain way to try and attract women? And that leads, let me just say this. A lot of these guys who are frustrated, let me just go back to the whole high value man, that whole fucking thing. That was really started by guys who were sexually frustrated and they felt some type of way because they've achieved some type of success and education and they still couldn't get no pussy. That's where that really came from. That was really a cope to say, yeah, we've achieved all of this and these hoes don't appreciate us. That's why they would call themselves educated lames. That's all. It was basically a cope because they felt like, oh, I'm the perfect guy on paper, but women don't appreciate that because all women do is choose fucked up guys. No, you had no sex appeal. That's all it is. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you don't have any sex appeal, if women don't view you in a sexual way, if they don't want your dick, you're going to struggle. It's going to be difficult. But y'all got it. Let
me see. Guys, the number is 844-672-7300, 844-672-7300. So make sure you guys call in. All right. Ross Chris, he says, is it wise to cultivate new relations with new women when my marriage is on its last leg and your current spouse can be vindictive in your attempts to get at each other, to get at other women?
Listen, as someone who has gone through this long time ago, don't do shit. Okay. And I'll say this for there's a couple of reasons. One, it, like what you mentioned here, vindictive. Okay. It adds in a variable that's going to make your situation worse, not better.
Right.
Okay. Second thing, those other girls that you may be, going after or pulling in, you're just using it as a distraction to feel better about your current situation. So you're using them. Right. It's like a distraction, this drug, so you don't have to feel what you currently have to deal with. And instead you're like, oh, I want to just take this drug so I don't have to worry about it. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit is just bad. Okay. And then what happens if one of these girls, she starts getting really into you? Now you've got this on top of the whole situation, the drugs and the fucking falling apart relationship. It's too complex. When you're dealing with a serious situation such as this, you want to fucking get focused, get simple. And if you are, dealing with marriage, who you should be talking to is your fucking lawyer, not some fucking random pussy.
Pretty much. I will wholeheartedly agree. Look, let me tell y'all something. First of all, if your marriage is on the last leg, you need to be out. You need to be in a new place, living somewhere else. That's for one. But go ahead, Miles.
All right. 862-862. 862, you're on live with the Manhood is a skill set show. Name, age, city. How can we help you?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, 862. Go ahead. Name, age, city.
Oh, okay. Name Quayon, age 26. City,
Right.
I live in East Hanover, New Jersey.
All right, that's cool. All right, what's your name? I mean, give me. I keep saying that. What's your question, bro?
All right, my question is, I broke up with a longtime girlfriend of mine who was in a 5-year relationship back in
Congratulations.
what was that? February.
Okay.
So my question was, okay, like I said, I'm 26. So my question is, how should I maneuver with women if it kind of like scarred you a little bit?
Scarred you?
I don't have a problem with talking to women.
Nope. Stop right there. So you chose to use the word scarred. So you were scarred.
Yeah.
Please explain.
Yeah, because of the situation that happened. Yeah, it was like a wild situation.
No, just explain it to us. We'll decide if it's wild or not.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna explain it now.
Just
So basically,
just get to the part. Wait. Instead of giving us a whole bunch of other like erroneous details to try to save your own reputation and ego within the situation, just get to the part that scarred you because you fucked up. Just get to that part where you made the mistake
cool. Nah,
and you're scarred.
The part. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get to the part. So basically, she tried to say that I stole a check from her, whereas the check was still in the car, and she basically told like my family that like we was in the car and that I placed her check somewhere else that initially from where she didn't place it at.
So where were you scarred at? Please tell me.
To the point whereas I never stole any money from her. I even asked her multiple questions.
Okay, the woman. Listen. Someone accused you of stealing. What part scarred you, homie?
Yeah.
Please, you used the word. So tell me the part that scarred you.
How can I say? Basically,
Caller, let me ask you a question.
So you feel hurt, but you don't know why you felt hurt.
Yeah. So caller, you felt betrayed. Like, how dare you accuse me of
there
this?
we go. There we go. Yeah, there we go. You hit it right in the nose.
Okay, but you shouldn't feel scarred. Like that shouldn't impact how you view other women. It should have no impact. Like you're caller. As fucked up as it was for her to accuse you of something, you're nobody's victim. When you said scarred, you sound like a victim. You're not a victim.
Gotcha.
You ran into it was fucked up, and she accused me of that. I'm breaking up with her right away. Did you break up with her right away? Or did you hold on to the relationship a little while longer?
Oh, absolutely.
Wait, I need to know this, caller. How long from the time you had sex to the time you made it your girlfriend? In how long? From the first time you had sex, to the first time you gave her the title girlfriend.
Oh, literally, probably I say a week or two.
Okay, that's one of your problems right there, bro. That's one of your problems right there, because wait.
No, I got
listen.
Trying to justify it.
Listen, it don't take since you see this. Is what happens when you give women titles too early and too quickly, and they haven't earned it. Because what she's showing you, and this is why she doesn't think you're trustworthy. She's saying to you, if I can become your girlfriend in a week and a half, that means you take
no. Before I got in a relationship with her, I knew her for about a good year and a half.
Nope.
No. Doesn't count.
Knowing her doesn't count.
Knowing her doesn't mean knowing her, caller. Knowing her doesn't mean you're vetting her for a relationship. Okay. That's why I asked you from the time that you had sex with her the first time to the time that you made her your girlfriend. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you are not special when it comes to the game. You cannot go around the rules of the game. Just because you knew her for some time before doesn't mean you were vetting her. You understand? Now, again, let me finish my statement. You allowed her to get a title in your life, not earned it. So you know what she's saying about your life, your trustworthiness, your integrity. All of those things are worth very little because she was able to earn something very quickly. Do you understand? She earned something very important very quickly and for less value. Do you understand? So she doesn't value your integrity and your character. So therefore, she feels justified in accusing you of such heinous bullshit as that, you know, of like stealing from her or stealing money from her or stealing a check from her. She doesn't respect you because you let her get into your life too easily. But go ahead, Kazak.
And real quick, caller, and that her accusing, I want you to understand how all of this is like a chain of events. Her accusing you of that is directly tied to the fact that she doesn't trust you. And the reason why she doesn't trust you is because she doesn't know you. And the reason why she doesn't know you is because you gave her too much so quick. And not only that, you didn't establish the proper boundaries to facilitate and cultivate that trust. Because once you establish boundaries, then she knows that you are a man of integrity. I want guys to understand, women will fuck you. They will hang around you and your family like everything is all good. But these chicks oftentimes will not trust you and won't have a whole lot of respect for you. Okay, you're just out.
Hey, real quick, fellas, thank you. I got to bounce.
Okay. All right, Justin.
Thank you, fellas.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Okay, go ahead, caller.
Okay, so was that the right verbiage to use as in scarred? Because I was able to move away from this shit pretty quickly. I'm sorry.
No. You shouldn't have been scarred. See this, guys. I want to say this, and I want to be careful how I word it because I don't want guys to use this as an excuse. Whenever you have a man and a woman,
that's cool. That's cool.
No, listen. No, this is for everybody, not just you. Whenever you have a man and a woman who are dealing with each other, and you are at odds, meaning something happened where you're at odds. Both people are always culpable. Both people always culpable. However, as a man, you should always take 100% accountability and responsibility for it, because if guys got out of their feelings for a moment, you can trace back the steps and you can realize where you went wrong. It doesn't mean that the chick didn't do anything wrong too. You can trace where you went wrong, and you can see how it was a domino effect, how you came in a situation led to the things that led to her doing what she initially did. You can trace back out, damn. Caller, and I had to learn this. When one of my relationships ended, and I was mad for about a month, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. This is your fucking fault. I had to say that to myself. This is your fucking fault. Yeah. And then I went back and I traced back, and I said, this is your fucking fault. And I went, you did this, and I went through the years, and I said, this is all you. It could have been prevented from this happening. And as a man, most guys don't do that. But go ahead.
Every relationship that I've ended or was ended was my fault.
Kind of breaking up a little bit, fellas.
Yeah. Go ahead.
For the simple fact that I should have ended it earlier.
Even that. That's what I'm saying. Even with that. Yeah,
it was signs that I should have ended it early. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Okay, there you go. So boom. How many people do you know, or how many people do you believe right now are in relationships and marriages that should have ended fucking months or years ago, and they're still going through them shit?
Shouldn't even started. Some of them shouldn't even started.
Some of them never even should have fucked each other.
I gotta ask the caller a question though, man. Let me ask you a question real quick. Did you take her check?
Hell no, bro. I don't need to take my
I just had to ask. Because sometimes we get upset that somebody is asking us we get upset that they're accusing us of something that we did. We got caught doing it.
Yeah. So like basically like what you said when you said, I think you said something previous before, like it should have ended earlier. It was red flags around not just picking up a check. Whereas when she'd get drunk or some shit and go out with friends, and she'd be like, when I pick her up and she'd be drunk as hell, she'd be like, oh, you just want me for my money type shit. So it was like red flags.
Right there. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever asked her for money?
Yeah.
You asked her for money?
No.
You never asked her for money.
So what did y'all discuss about money? Did she know that? Was it a thing where she made more than you and she knew it?
So basically, basically where I went wrong at, I think in the early on in a relationship was that she comes from a Caribbean background. So with them being from Haiti, they dad, when they come to America, she was always being taken care of. So when it was time for us to move out on our own type shit, because it was like a crazy dynamic between her family with her relationship with her family to the point she wanted to leave her household to come live with me type shit. So it's like once we really got established on our own, it was like, okay, we're gonna go 50-50 on the rent and I'm gonna cover everything else.
Right.
So I guess as time went along, she wasn't so how can I say, financially, she worked a good job, but as far as saving money, she wasn't good at.
Okay, stop right there. Stop.
You weren't good at.
Let's back up. Cool. I'm glad you said that because caller, I went through a situation where I had an ex. She made great money, but she was horrible with money. I'm gonna tell you. I saw evidence of it, but I moved in with this bitch. Well, I didn't move in with her. We got a house, but I got a house with this bitch. I got a newly built house with this bitch anyway. Saw it anyway, right?
Yeah.
After that, still saw evidence that she wasn't good with money. Married the bitch anyway. So you see how I saw shit and I still did it. Now, luckily, her being bad with money, I was able to get that under control. But you saw it before you moved in with her, right? Did you see it before?
Yeah.
And you moved in with her anyway.
Maybe I really realized it probably like a good probably 8-12 months before.
No, see, this is what you do, and this is what most guys do, and we're all guilty of this when we're younger, right? But you should really stop doing this as you get older. What most people do, this is what most men and women do this all the time. There'll be red flags every fucking where, but because the good outweighs the bad, you'll be like, I'm gonna move forward with it. There should be no bad. Walls. There should be no bad.
It not even the good outweighs the bad. The pussy outweighs everything.
Yeah, it'd be them velvet walls. That,
It ain't good because nigga ain't even paying attention to the good.
There you go.
He's just paying attention to the fucking pussy, and the bad shit is all in his face. And he's like, "Oh well, it'll be all right."
But this is the crazy part too, though, man. Leadership matters. So if she's not good with money, but I am great with money, then the leadership will have us being great with money.
Right.
So
and I felt as though
and if you didn't want to do that leadership, then you already knew this relationship wasn't the one. She didn't earn it. She didn't earn a lot of stuff when it came to you. So there was no need for you to teach her anything because she didn't earn it. Exactly. And so automatically you put her at this even plane with you, which basically means you put her on a pedestal to begin with.
Exactly. But Carla, you say your question was, how do you deal with something when you're scarred? What was the original question?
He said scarred. That was
the question.
I don't.
Yeah, but I think I used the word scarred. I think it's the wrong.
Yeah,
that's the word. That's how you felt. That's the word you chose.
Yeah.
But here's what I want to show you. Here's the real answer to your question. The real answer to your question is, and your language exposed that you were trying to play the victim. Okay. Yeah, she probably accused you of something that you would never do, and that's below your standard of character. But let us understand something. And guys, I keep telling y'all, go to shoplucario.com and get Lucario's program, How to Master the Vetting Process. This motherfucker had sex with the chick and then made this female his girlfriend in a week and a fucking half. Then he won velvet walls flags and still moved in with her anyway. So, brother, the whole thing with this is, we've been saying basically the entire show, a man has to take full accountability for everything. You understand? A woman goes through her emotional fluctuations, all of this and all of that, but you don't take the time to teach her consistency, to show her the standard of your lifestyle through vetting, through time, through giving her time and space to be consistent with you and earn her spot. This is what's going to happen. So I want you to understand that what you went through as far as her blaming you for stealing her check, that is the milk that spilled. You understand? But the problem is you put the milk in a paper fucking cup on a windy day in the first place. You asking about the milk when we should have been talking about using a glass with a heavy base and putting it in a closed room in the middle of the table with napkins all around it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what you didn't do.
There you go. A couple of things. Colin, how old are you, brother?
26.
How old are you?
26.
26. Okay, real quick. A couple of things. One of the biggest red flags was why she wanted to move out. That was the fact that she had issues with her family. So she had an agenda. So her agenda wasn't, oh, let's move out so we can make a life together. I love the idea of waking up to you and being with you.
She was right.
Yeah, exactly. So
Good
you see
point,
that
Zach.
her reasoning for doing it is her level of investment in it. Meaning, if she was doing it because she really wanted to be with you, and I just want to be with you. I want to go to sleep in your arms every day. Her paying the bills there, she would have been more likely to be invested in doing that because that thing she wanted so bad. But the fact that she was running from it, she wanted you to save her, and you did, nigga. You threw on your cape, and you realized when you was carrying her through the air, she was too heavy. And you said, you got to walk beside me. And she said, no, I don't want to walk. Carry me. And now the relationship is in flux because of that.
Exactly.
I'm quite sure she pressured you at some point to get a better job or get a job to make more money.
Yeah, so basically at the time, she was a dental hygienist and I was a traffic engineering type. So it was great money being made. Trust me, it was great money being made. But at the same time, I felt as though like she tried to play keep up.
Oh, you know what?
And that really was her
I
downfall.
want to make a point.
Yeah.
I want to make a quick point. Guys, start pulling credit reports. Make these chicks show you their credit report. Look. Before me and my ex-wife got married, I looked at the STD test because the condom was coming off. We were talking about having kids. Condom about to come off. I got to see what it do. You know what I'm saying? STD test, right? And the credit report. I said I got to pull that, right? I got to see what you owe. I got to see your debt to income ratio. I got to see the score, right? And luckily. And I learned this from my other relationships. Luckily, you know, my last situation, my ex-wife, she was actually, her credit score was important to her, like her good name and saving money and all of that. So I didn't have a chick that was on that just spend money frivolously. Like shit mattered to her. So for me to institute my situation and making sure I was watching the money, that was a very easy situation to navigate. But y'all got it.
Y'all got any more points for the caller? Because you know, about that time.
I don't think you got it.
So caller, do you understand? Did we answer your question?
Nah, you definitely answered my question. I appreciate it. I watch you guys relatively often, so thank you for that.
Hey, appreciate you, brother. That was a great question, man. I know a lot of guys deal with that as well. But yeah, we're not here to play the victim. We're here to see. As men, we're here to see where we went wrong, and you know, you went wrong from the very beginning.
No, I'm agreeing with Otter. You know, when you talk about women's, you know, debt to ratio, them loan payments, them school loans and stuff. I am not your retirement plan. So like, you know, look, this is it.
Hey, watch out for them chicks. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think you made a good point on if you do live with a woman, how you come together matters.
Yes,
I once lived with a young lady that was basically she moved out of her parents' house. This is how young we were, and she never told her parents that she was living with me, that we were living together. So she lied, and that never sat well with me. It bothered me, you know. It never sat well, and of course, this relationship ended in demise. But you know, here you are lying it in. You know, do I really think you're gonna be telling me the truth the whole time in this relationship? So you know how you get together and the circumstances and how it's presented, all that matters.
There you go. And on that note, we're about to call it a day. Miles had to bounce. Shout out to Miles. Shout out to Mr. Justin. Shout out to J. Roman. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everyone who called in. Also, shout out to everyone who super chatted, everyone who asked questions. Hey, we couldn't get to all y'all questions. Don't take it personal, right? Tomorrow, Real Game No Theory, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 12 o'clock noon Eastern. Come fuck with us. Inconsistency kills attraction with women. Guys, all we're trying to do is help you have favorable results when it comes to dealing with women. That's all we're trying to do, right? And how you conduct yourself from the very first time you meet women, you should be setting a standard for how things are going to be, not only for yourself, but also for the woman. Okay, and it's your job. It's incumbent upon you to set that standard.
I'll take it one further. I take it one further. Inconsistency kills the attraction to yourself.
There you go.
You that's why you're depressed. That's why you're upset. You know, you're not attracted to yourself, which she ain't gonna be attracted to you if you ain't attracted to yourself.
There you go. And on that note, guys, we are out. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.